Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world with me, Deepika, coming up in the next 30 minutes. Paris AI Action Summit kicks off with India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi as the co-chair. India will share its views on the democratization of AI and on bringing its benefits to the global south. Emmanuel Macron pitches France as place to develop AI over UK and the US, promising to cut red tape on technology, takes swipe at Trump with plug baby plug comment.
I have a good friend in the other part of the ocean saying, drill baby drill. Here there is no need to drill. It's just plug baby plug.
Trump pumps up tariff talks, imposing 25% tariffs on steel and aluminium imports. Trump to also announce reciprocal tariffs over next 2 days, considers tariffs on cars, semiconductor chips and pharmaceutical. Donald Trump warns of all hell if Gaza captives not freed by Saturday after Hamas says next scheduled hostage release postponed. A very good afternoon to all our viewers joining us at this afternoon broadcast. Let's begin with the top news of the hour. The future of artificial intelligence takes center stage in Paris as the world leaders and tech executives gather for the AI Action Summit. Co-hosted by French President Emmanuel Macron and Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi, the high-profile event aims at establishing a global framework for AI governance while pushing for ethical, accessible and sustainable development of the technology. With top political figures and tech industry leaders in attendance, the summit could play a pivotal role in shaping AI's future. Here's more.
I am delighted to welcome you to this unprecedented AI summit in Paris, co-chaired by President Macron and Prime Minister Modi.
With this, the Artificial Intelligence Action Summit opens in Paris. The event, co-hosted by French President Emmanuel Macron and Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi, brings together around 1,500 participants at the Grand Palais. The summit's primary focus, mapping AI governance worldwide, promoting ethical and accessible AI, and reinforcing European sovereignty over the technology. In an interview, French President Macron announced that France will also announce private sector investments totaling some 109 billion euros in its artificial intelligence sector.
Europe will accelerate, France will accelerate, and therefore for us, France, we announce tomorrow at the summit 109 billion euros of investments in artificial intelligence over the coming years.
As discussions begin, world leaders have started arriving in the French capital. US Vice President J.D. Vance touched down in Paris with his family, receiving a warm welcome with French Overseas Minister Manuel Valls. Chinese Vice Premier Zhang Guoqing too arrived in Paris. Beyond the political sphere, industry heavyweights including Alphabet CEO Sundar Pichai, Microsoft President Brad Smith and OpenAI CEO Sam Altman are set to deliver key addresses on AI's future. This is the third high-level AI summit in recent years. The Paris summit sets out to achieve three major objectives: provide access to independent, safe and reliable AI to a wide range of users, develop AI that is more environmentally friendly, ensure global governance of artificial intelligence that is both effective and inclusive. The Paris AI summit will focus on 5 major themes: public service AI, future of work, innovation and culture, trust in AI, global governance of AI. With AI evolving at an unprecedented pace, the summit could lay the groundwork for how nations and industries harness its potential while mitigating risks. As discussions continue in Paris, the world watches closely to see what agreements and policies emerge.
Meanwhile, Prime Minister Narendra Modi attended the official dinner hosted by Macron for visiting leaders attending the AI Action Summit in Paris. Prime Minister Narendra Modi is all set to visit Marseille in southern France. The visit will focus on strengthening diplomatic ties with key events including the inauguration of an Indian consulate and high-level bilateral talks. DD India's Jessica Taneja reports from the port city of Marseille in France. Take a look.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi is set to arrive in the southern French city of Marseille. This is Prime Minister Modi's sixth official visit to France and is aimed at further strengthening the India-France strategic partnership. A key highlight of the visit will be the inauguration of a new Indian consulate in Marseille. The decision to open the consulate was announced during Prime Minister's visit to France in 2023. The second diplomatic mission in the French port city will enhance consular access for the Indian diaspora, while also supporting Indian startups and SMEs in navigating regulations, finding local partners, and exploring market opportunities. During his visit, Prime Minister will also pay homage to the Indian soldiers at the Mazak cemetery, honouring their sacrifices. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will pay tribute to the Indian soldiers who laid down their lives during the First World War and were commemorated here at the Mazak cemetery. Marseille served as the base of the Indian troops in France during 1914 to 1918 war, and throughout that time they either worked in the port or passed through it. Later in the day, he is scheduled to visit the site of the International Thermonuclear Experimental Reactor, which is a crucial international project in the field of nuclear energy.
A visit that both leaders will undertake together to a place called Kadash, is the site of the International Thermonuclear Experimental Reactor, which is a project, a high science project in which India is a partner along with a few other countries.
Bilateral talks are also scheduled as part of the visit, with discussions expected to focus on key areas of collaboration. While defence, security, civil nuclear cooperation and space remain the principal pillars of India-France strategic partnership, the relationship has expanded in recent years. New areas of cooperation include maritime security, digitalization, cybersecurity, advanced computing, counter-terrorism, climate change and sustainable development. Jessica Taneja for DD India in Marseille, France.
Meanwhile, President Emmanuel Macron declared on Monday that France was in the race for artificial intelligence and called on the attendees at the AI Action Summit in Paris to choose Europe for their business needs. Advocating that clean electric power distinguishes France in addressing AI's vast energy consumption, he pitched that Europe will cut back on regulation to make it easier for artificial intelligence to flourish across the region. He also took a swipe at Donald Trump with plug baby plug comment on energy.
Last year, we exported 90 terawatt-hour, 90, which means we can localize a lot of data centers on top of what we need in terms of electricity for our own companies, our own households. So it's very important in this world where I have a good friend in the other part of the ocean saying, drill, baby, drill. Here, there is no need to drill. It's just plug, baby, plug. Electricity is available. You can plug, it's ready.
The European Union's digital chief, Henna Virkkunen, also promised that the bloc will simplify its rules and implement them in a business-friendly way. She said, and I quote, "When it comes to AI, I'm committed that I'm going to implement regulation in a very innovation-friendly manner to make sure that we are encouraging investments and innovations," unquote. Now, US President Donald Trump signed executive orders to impose 25% tariffs on steel and aluminium imports from the 12th of March. The tariffs, which will increase the costs of importing the metals into the United States, comes despite warnings of retaliation from leaders of some of the countries. This report brings us more. Take a look.
Any steel coming into the
In yet another major escalation of his trade policy overall, US President Donald Trump has announced a 25% import tax on all steel and aluminium entering the US.
Simplifying our tariffs on steel and aluminum so that everyone can understand exactly what it means. It's 25% without exceptions or exemptions. And that's all countries, no matter where it comes from, all countries. If made in the United States, however, United States of America, there is no tariff, it's zero. So if it's made in the United States, there is no tariff. All you have to do is make it in the United States. We don't need it from another country.
The tariff tirade seems to be an unending saga, as Trump said he was also looking at tariffs on cars, semiconductor chips, and pharmaceuticals also. He also announced plans to impose reciprocal tariffs on other countries over the next 2 days. Nations exporting metal products to the US are scrambling for concession. Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese called Donald Trump and later announced that the Republican president has agreed to consider an exemption for Australia.
I presented Australia's case for an exemption, and we agreed on wording to say publicly, which is that the US President agreed that an exemption was under consideration for in the interests of both of our countries.
New tariffs on steel could bring unexpected cost to consumers. The effect would be felt both ways, since the increase in price of steel in the US would raise the cost of construction in all projects. Apart from that, the increased duties on aluminium will raise the cost of all many canned products. Bureau Report, DD India.
Now, Hong Kong will file a complaint on recent US tariffs imposed on the city to the World Trade Organization. It has claimed the US has completely ignored the city's status as a separate customs territory. The move to stop accepting parcels from China and Hong Kong to the United States has caused chaos and confusion among retailers and express shipping firms over how to deal with the United States tariff.
Regarding the U.S. the tariffs on Hong Kong, I think this is absolutely inconsistent with the WTO the rules. Of course, and also they have to totally disregard that Hong Kong is a separate customs territory, and we have and we will file a complaint with the WTO regarding this unreasonable arrangement.
US businesses dependent on the imports have also raised concerns, but Donald Trump has said his plans will boost domestic production. The US is the world's largest importer of steel, counting Canada, Brazil and Mexico as its top 3 suppliers. Canada alone accounted for more than 50% of aluminium imported into the US last year. The tariffs will apply to millions of tons of steel and aluminium imports from Canada, Brazil, Mexico, South Korea and other countries that had been entering the US duty-free under the carve-outs. And now let's get you a quick update on West Asia. All bets are off and let hell break out. That's what US President Donald Trump said after Hamas announced the halt in release of Israeli hostages. Tensions in Gaza are escalating in West Asia as clock has been set by Donald Trump once again. We have a detailed report. Take a look.
Those of you that know this.
As the fate of the hostages hang in the balance, US President Donald Trump has warned that Hamas must return all hostages by this Saturday or face the collapse of the ceasefire.
If all of the hostages aren't returned by Saturday at 12 o'clock, I think it's an appropriate time. I would say cancel it and all bets are off and let hell break out. I'd say they ought to be returned by 12 o'clock on Saturday, and if they're not returned, all of them, not in drips and drabs, not 2 and 1 and 3 and 4 and 2.
Hamas will stop releasing Israeli hostages, citing a delay in the ceasefire agreement, raising concerns of a breakdown in the fragile peace talks. It alleged Israeli violations in the ceasefire, including delays in Palestinian return to northern Gaza and hindering its deliveries. Hamas says it made the announcement 5 days before Saturday's scheduled hostage release, so mediators could pressure Israel to uphold its ceasefire obligations and keep the door open for the exchange to take place on time. Trump has proposed to resettle Gaza's 2.2 million Palestinians and take control of the region for redevelopment into a Riviera of the Middle East.
I do see a long-term ownership position, and I see it bringing great stability to that part of the Middle East. But the Riviera of the Middle East, this could be something that could be this could be so magnificent.
Israel's Arab neighbors, including Egypt and Jordan, have said any plan to transfer Palestinians from their land would destabilize the region. Trump has threatened to withhold US aid to Jordan and Egypt if they don't take Palestinian refugees being relocated from Gaza. Trump is due to meet Jordan's King Abdullah II in Washington this week. The United Nations and experts have said that the proposal would violate international law. The immediate impact is on peace talks slated to be held in Qatar. The ceasefire agreement says staggered release should take place over the ongoing 42-day first phase of the deal. Negotiators are due to meet in the coming days in Qatar to discuss the implementation of the truce first phase. It will also discuss potentially the next phases, which are yet to be finalized. Talks on a second phase are meant to begin on the truce 16th day, but Israel has refused to send its negotiators to Doha. Despite Trump's words, displaced people of Gaza continue to stream back to their homes after Israeli forces withdraw from the Netzarim corridor. With Aarti Rana, Anil Thomas, TD India.
Tech billionaire Elon Musk and a group of investors are offering nearly $100 billion to buy OpenAI and return it to its original non-profit mission. OpenAI CEO Sam Altman, however, rejected the offer. Musk is engaged in a legal battle contesting OpenAI's move towards becoming a for-profit entity. Here's more.
Tech billionaire Elon Musk-led group has offered nearly $100 billion to buy ChatGPT maker OpenAI, a deal that could transform the future of artificial intelligence and escalate the legal dispute between Musk and OpenAI. Musk and his own AI startup, xAI, and a consortium of investment firms want to take control of the ChatGPT maker and revert it to its original charitable mission as a non-profit research lab. The offer, tabled at $97.4 billion, is much lower than the $157 billion the company was valued at its latest funding round in October last year. Talks over a further funding round reportedly value it at now $300 billion. OpenAI CEO Sam Altman turned down Musk's proposal and offered to buy Twitter instead. OpenAI is now trying to transition into a for-profit from a non-profit entity, which it says is required to secure the capital needed for developing the best AI models. Musk has a long-standing feud with OpenAI CEO Sam Altman and has filed a number of legal complaints against the company and Altman, claiming that the AI company and its leadership have misinterpreted OpenAI as a philanthropy. Musk sued Altman and others in August last year, claiming they violated contract provisions by putting profit ahead of the public good in the push to advance AI. Musk co-founded OpenAI with Altman in 2015 as a non-profit, but left before the company took off. He founded the competing AI startup xAI in 2023. Musk recently criticized a $500 billion OpenAI-led project announced by Trump at the White House. With Bureau Inputs, Anamika Pandey's report for DD India.
We're heading for a short break, but still to come on DD India Live. Prime Minister Narendra Modi virtually addresses India Energy Week 2025. Up next, we'll get you all the latest update from Uttar Pradesh's Maha Kumbh. And China's festival celebrates Silkworm Dragon Parade.
Complex issues, hidden agendas, twists and turns, strategic games. We think all dots are linked, we just need to connect them. Join me every week as I connect the dots to unravel hidden designs in statecraft, mysteries, and decode issues that matter to you. Watch Connecting the Dots with me at these times on DD India.
Welcome back after that short break. You're watching DD India Live. The third edition of the India Energy Week 2025 began on Tuesday with Prime Minister Narendra Modi virtually addressing the four-day mega event. India Energy Week incorporates 7 key strategic themes, which is collaboration, resilience, transition, capacity, digital frontiers, innovation and leadership, with greater emphasis on pragmatic solutions for decarbonization, energy equity and low-carbon economies. India Energy Week promises unparalleled global participation from the ministers, CEOs and industry leaders. Addressing the opening ceremony of the India Energy Week, India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi shared a message focused on building a sustainable and eco-friendly energy future for India.
भारत ग्लोबल सस्टेनेबिलिटी के लिए कमिटेड है। इससे भारत के एनर्जी सेक्टर में नई संभावनाएं तैयार हो रही हैं। साथियों, विकसित भारत के लिए अगले 2 दशक बहुत अहम है और इसमें आने वाले 5 साल में हम अनेक बड़े पड़ाव पार करने वाले हैं। हमारे बहुत सारे एनर्जी गोल्स 2030 की डेडलाइन के हिसाब से अलाइन किए गए हैं। साल 2030 तक हम 500 गीगावाट रिन्यूएबल एनर्जी कैपेसिटी ऐड करना चाहते हैं। साल 2030 तक भारतीय रेलवे ने नेट जीरो कार्बन एमिशन का टारगेट रखा है। साल 2030 तक हम हर साल 5 मिलियन मैट्रिक टन ग्रीन हाइड्रोजन कर सके, ये हमारा लक्ष्य है। हमारे ये टारगेट्स काफी एम्बिशियस लग सकते हैं, लेकिन बीते 10 साल में जो भारत ने हासिल किया है, उससे ये विश्वास पैदा हुआ है कि ये टारगेट भी हम जरूर हासिल कर लेंगे।
The Prime Minister also underlined the steps taken by the government to promote green energy in the 2025 budget, saying that every investment being made in energy is creating new jobs for the youth, creating more opportunities for green jobs.
सरकार ने ईवी और मोबाइल फोन बैटरी की मैन्युफैक्चरिंग से जुड़ी कई चीजों को बेसिक कस्टम ड्यूटी से बाहर किया है। कोबाल्ट पाउडर, लिथियम आयन बैटरी वेस्ट, लेड, जिंक ऐसे अनेक क्रिटिकल मिनरल से ड्यूटी हटा दी गई है। नेशनल क्रिटिकल मिनरल्स मिशन भी भारत में एक सशक्त सप्लाई चेन के निर्माण में बड़ी भूमिका निभाएगा। नॉन लिथियम बैटरी इकोसिस्टम को प्रमोट करने की दिशा में भी हम आगे बढ़ रहे हैं। इस वर्ष के बजट में हमने न्यूक्लियर एनर्जी सेक्टर को भी ओपन कर दिया है। एनर्जी में हो रहा हर इन्वेस्टमेंट नौजवानों के लिए नई जॉब्स क्रिएट कर रहा है, ग्रीन जॉब्स के अवसर बना रहा है। साथियों, भारत के एनर्जी सेक्टर को मजबूती देने के लिए हम इसे जनता की पावर से लेस कर रहे हैं।
A parliamentary delegation from the Maldives, led by Speaker of the People's Majlis Abdul Rahim Abdullah, is on an official visit to India. The delegation observed the functioning of the Lok Sabha, where they were warmly welcomed by Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla. During their visit, the Maldivian delegation will tour the Parliament House complex and also engage in bilateral talks with the Speaker to strengthen parliamentary cooperation between the two countries. And now let's get you all the latest from Maha Kumbh, which is the largest religious congregation across the world. Ahead of the second last auspicious bathing or snan at Maha Kumbh on the occasion of Maghi Purnima, Uttar Pradesh's Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath reviewed the arrangements made for the occasion, which is scheduled to be held on the 12th of February. During the meeting, the UPCM assessed the preparations and issued several guidelines to officials to ensure the smooth passage of event. He ordered to increase the number of shuttle buses so that devotees can easily reach the fair area from the parking lot. He also stressed that no vehicle should be allowed to enter the fair premises in violation of the regulations. UPCM Yogi Adityanath also asked the officials to take care of children, elderly and women. He directed the officials to take stricter actions against people spreading misleading or false information. And before we close now, it's time to get you some interesting visuals. Bakuan, which is a village in East China's Sichuan province with a rich history of silkworm breeding, came to life with a lively celebration in honor of the approaching Lantern Festival. The event included a special silkworm dragon parade. The Lantern Festival marks the conclusion of the Spring Festival celebrations as well. And that's all for this edition of DD India Live, but do let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on the DD India mobile app. The app is available on both Android and iOS platforms. Scan the QR code on the screen to download it right now. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I am Deepika, and from all of us here in New Delhi, thank you so much for watching DD India Live. Namaskar.